Dear friend, welcome to In the Spirit of Change. My name is Michael Karlholm, and it's been my dream for a long time to create a pod that is a communication, a talk heart to heart, where I want the heart to speak and let you all meet people that I love and that have inspired me. So, very welcome to In the Spirit of Change. Today's guest is Miten. Miten is an old friend since 30 years and incredible master of sound and silence. His music has touched millions of people. Together with his partner, Deva, they travel all over the world. Miten and I in this pod were talking about different things that been impacting him a lot, like he's been going through a big heart surgery and the impact that had on him. Also, we talk about what music and sound can do for healing us and healing a human being. Welcome to this meeting with a master and with someone who's really been holding meditation and silence and truth as the most important for all his life. And he shared so openly and vulnerably also about difficulties in his life and difficulties during this period with the COVID. Warmly welcome to this meeting with Miten. And Miten and I go back 30 years nearly now.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. And I mean, the meeting with you and Deva was so important for me. I mean, in my life, and then we've been traveling down this road together. I mean, it feels like we always been on this journey. And
there's a really great lesson there, Mickey, that I just want to grab while it's in my mind.
Yeah.
And that is when we first met. This is a great teaching for the people listening, because what happened, I can tell you guys, what happened was Mickey saw us. He drove a long while to see us, and we were playing in the Munich. I think it was either Munich or Cologne.
Munich.
Yeah, in the Sannyasin Center. And we were doing a little concert there, me and David. And Mickey went, he really enjoyed, and he wanted to talk to us, but for some reason, I can't remember why, Mickey would probably say, but he got in his car and continued on his journey. I think he was actually going to Sweden. I can't remember where he was going, but he told me he was 20 minutes out of Munich before he realized that he wanted to speak to us, and his willpower turned that car around and came all the way back to Munich, all the way to the center, and walked up, and I was still awake and hanging out. And he came up to me and told me that story. And I just think that's a great lesson. You know, there's always the chance to turn around. There's always the chance to reassess what you've, whatever it is the action has taken you. There's always the possibility to turn it around. And that turn around and moving back towards your original intention is called yes. That's the yes. Yeah. The no is to continue. But the yes is to turn around and have the willpower. It doesn't have to be physically turn around. It can just be stopping and being with yourself. And it's funny, I was just listening to a Bob Dylan song a couple of days ago, and I wanted to learn it. And it's called Trust Yourself. Yeah. And it's just, it's kind of nice, because he says things like, you know, you won't be disappointed when people let you down. Trust yourself, and don't go looking for answers where no answers can be found. Don't trust me to show you love when my love may be only lust. If you want somebody you can trust trust yourself. And such a great, great teaching. And some of that thing of you coming back to Munich and meeting us began the great friendship, a really lasting friendship in my life. I don't have many friends who've lasted that long. Most of them are dead now.
Yeah.
Not all of us, but
every day we see someone passing on. And
yeah, actually, we talk about that, and I have to just mention my friend Nathan. She ran the. She always promoted our concerts in Portugal, in Lisbon. Her and her husband Harida, and they're good friends of mine from Osho's time. And she just left her body yesterday, and she's flying on the wings of the angels. So I just want to mention her because she and Harida would make these concerts for thousands and thousands of people in Lisbon. And every year we would come and for this beautiful welcome with these guys. And so it's a special time that people are leaving. You know, it's not unusual now. It's that people, we are stepping off the diving board one by one, you know. No, let's look at it another way.
And bless her. I mean, bless her. And it's like, I was just actually listening to a discourse with Osho before now about death. Like before, I felt like, you know, what is the best way to connect with you and what we love the most, and then to listen to the master. And I get tears when I say that, because it touches me deeply. I'm thinking about her. I'm thinking, you know, about everyone now in this, and also knowing that never born, never died, and really so grateful that deep in me, I know that. I know that. And to know that, makes me not afraid of life, and makes me, you know, grateful to everything.
Yes. Yeah, grateful is the key, isn't it? When you know, when you really get down to the bottom line, if we're grateful, we're home.
Yeah,
we're home, and that's all there is. The gratitude, because we you know, sometimes I used to think, you know, I just want to die so I can say thank you to something, you know, because this life has been amazing. And who put me in it, and whoever, you know, gave it to me, I just have to say, please let me say thank you. This is absolutely unbelievable. But still, my energy dips. Still, I go into a space of feeling like, oh, I just lose all perspective on everything. And I think it's interesting for me that, because I realized if I can hit those spaces, no, I wouldn't want to call it depression, but if I hit those spaces when I'm physically in paradise, which I am by God's grace, it must be possible. If it's nothing to do with the outside, if the outside cannot stop this depression, let's call it, then it must be the other way around, must be possible, that you can be grateful and the outside could be a jail cell. It's got nothing to do with the outside, is what I'm trying to say. It's got, because this beauty, when I'm in that space, I forget it. It doesn't feel as if it's even there. You know, you just feel this heaviness. And my thing is now is to, because I used to say, how can I not be grateful? I'm living with the most beautiful companion I could imagine. Everything is just so beautiful for me. So what if that's all taken away? Does that mean you're not grateful anymore? So there must be a way of connecting and accessing the sense of gratitude. It must be something internal that only arises from a deep connection in our own being. Somehow that's our journey, because then wherever we are, we can smile. we can smile, and it's not. It's a belly. It's not necessarily a facial expression. It's an inner. It's an inner smile that just knows this is exactly right. This is amazing. So wherever we are, whether we're in a meditation room or whether we're in a jail cell, we can have those words, and they will ring true wherever we are. I know we played in San Quentin prison once.
I remember that. Yes.
Meeting those guys afterwards, you'd look in their eyes and you feel like it's the same feeling I had looking into the monks of the Guto monks, the eyes of the Guto monks, when we recorded with them. Somewhere it was like they'd gone beyond, because there was nowhere else for them to go. They had to find a way to forgive themselves, and that journey into forgiveness is not for the faint-hearted. You have to really sweat. You have to really go in there, and it takes a lot of courage for us to do that, because we're not that. But when you're in San Quentin prison, there's nowhere to go but there. So it was like seeing monks, and the talking was so gentle and not at all what I expected.
No, it's like the ultimate Vipassana retreat, It's like...
Yeah, it's a full-on lifetime in some cases. Those guys were in for like 25 years. And some of the things they'd done, I wouldn't even want to repeat them. And they had to live with that. They had to live with this terrible thing and that they'd done, and that kept them awake at night after night after night after night, and the guilt. How do you deal with that? Well, they had nowhere to go. And by the way, there was a moment in there that proved something magic, and that is that during our concert we were into it, having a nice time, and then a couple of black guys were called out, "Hey man, can you play any reggae? Can you play reggae, man?" And so we immediately started to do the one drop, and we started to play reggae, and the place, and then more and more people came into the chapel, and in the chapel was rocking, man. They were and dancing and big smiles and dancing with each other, and it was in San Quentin prison, And if I ever wanted any kind of proof that these mantras are beyond intellectual understanding, I had it that night,
That's where I feel so much, like just that invitation, it can happen anywhere, anytime we just come together, 2 or more people. And now, I remember 30 years ago, we were maybe 25 people together.
Yeah.
Now, like in Russia or wherever, it's thousands, and in Stockholm also. I mean, and it's beautiful to see that that heart space is where the home is. So wherever you are, that is there. If you connect with that.
You have to, if you're going to do what me and Deva have done, you have to feel at home. If you feel homeless, many musicians do. When they're out on the road, they're always looking over their shoulder. How long, I'm going to be home next week or the week after, and always on the phone with their wives and their little kids. And it's the way of the world. But for me and Deva, for one thing, we have each other. So we have our home in each other. I don't think I would want to do it without Deva. I would, maybe, I don't know. But the feeling of being at home is very important. And I always like to remind our friends in the Gayatri Sangha app, come home. Just take that step back behind your eyes, and have a little moment. And that's what I learned from being on the road so long. And you know what, the other thing that's gone hand in hand in that is the quality of the music, because one thing that this journey gave me as a musician is to create what I've created with Deva over these years, you know, and been a huge part of being able to guide her and help her and support her and critique her when, especially in the English songs. There's nothing I can say to Deva about the mantras because she's a great teacher just by the fact that she channels them. I don't think she's a great scholar, but as if you want to have the experience of the depth of mantra, then you just have to listen to her sing the Gayatri mantra. It's like there's nothing else. There's just nothing else, you know.
You know, when that happened, when you guys, because I went out to India already like beginning of the 70s, and I loved the mantras. I loved singing, but there was no one really singing in the West and really bringing it back with that flavor of that you have. I mean, for me, you are. It's like a maestro with silence and with the you know how to put a tone to the silence, so the silence even can, you know, you can hear the silence. And that I mean, I've seen how you work in perfection and how you every tone, you know, and Deva channeling the divine, and then that coming through that mixture. It's like, for me, it's like I said to Manus, I was speaking with him the other day, you know, it's like all the chakras just get aligned, and it's like you connected from Mother Earth and Father Sky, and then the heart in between. It's just like that. And to be able to give that to so many friends that people connect with that, I mean, it's like walking each other home.
It's walking each other home. Yeah, it's not a discourse where you listen to me. It's music. It's participation. It's beyond master disciple. You know, somebody answering questions or inspiring you, which of course you can with words and with presence. But when you actually physically participate, when you actually use your voice, you're vulnerable in a way that you're not when you're just listening. It's something that you're giving, you're giving, and it's you can't hide. You know, with the voice, you are what you are, and to it's funny to hear people sing is the fuel. It's really the inspiration for me. You know, just the other day we're here in Blue Spirit. Blue Spirit is a really fantastic yoga meditation resort in Costa Rica on the beach, and it's just amazing. But you know, because of the lockdown, they've had to close down, or they've closed down for a while, and now they're opening again. And a week or so ago, we shared our first group here with people who had to wear masks, you know, to sing. But so we said, look, you know, that's what they want us to do. If you want to come, fine. If you don't, no problem. You know, we're going to do it. And so the place was full with safe space, and we could have 50 beloveds in this big place. So we had 50 beloveds. And we hadn't sung together for a year. And we, you know, none of us, and we just played, let's just chant the mantra Om for a while. Let's just get in bed with each other. Let's just feel the flow with each other. So we just started with the Om. And Nikki, I can't really express to you what it felt like. You know, I've been in front of thousands of people doing that, but this little gathering, to experience that Om again was it was so beautiful. It was human vulnerability coming, filling the room, filling our temple, you know. And so the sound of voices, luckily for me, it only needs one voice also. You know, like when we do these online meditations and online little gatherings, I'm singing with Deva. So I have two voices, and whether it's one or whether it's 10,000, it's the same quality when it's in that perspective. When a room is full of 50 people, that's it. When it's in somewhere, so the human voice is one of the big keys to our work. And I don't like to call it work, but if I did, I would say that the teaching is to let go, because we breathe together. When we sing together, we unconsciously breathe together. I've said this a few times, and I think it's a real good point, because we once a community breathes together, and that's one of the things with Osho's meditations, because of the way he set them out, we would communally do something, and that communal connection is so vital. And I think that's what we miss when we get isolated in our lockdown. We don't feel that human touch, and so what I feel like we can only do with that is to accept what all the masters have said, that it's beyond physicality anyway, whether you can touch someone or not. It's got nothing to do with human physicality, actually. So you have the opportunity. You've got no one else to distract you. What do you do with your time? And that's where we come in with the mantras, because we feel like that's something you can do that's not just passive. You actually have to participate yourself. You have to join the congregation to really feel it. It's like watching a football match or actually being on the pitch playing it. It's very different experiences. And so it's better to get down on the pitch.
I'm happy I can look at it. I'm enjoying the games. We know we both love Miten and I. We both love football and tennis and the sport. So a good game is always, it's like a blessing. But I hear you, and it's like we are so many that are grateful that you've done this. During the lockdown. I also want to say to everybody that it's possible to get into your app and to be in the Sangha community all the time. And it's amazing what you're building there, and we can all connect and be together there. And thank you for that. It's like the family, it feels like the family is growing. And I feel quite locked, and I'm sitting here in Sweden. I just been in the divorce, and the kids are moved down to Gothenburg. And today, like you're talking about, like feeling I'm sitting here totally alone in a big house and no kids, and it's like a small death for me in some way. It's like really meeting the dragons inside of all the things, and it's not easy, but just to have the music and being a lover of music and the mantras and being able to connect with friends in that way is such a healing. I don't feel like I'm bypassing. I'm feeling what I'm feeling, but I also know a way what to do, and to get some help sometimes, someone to lean on.
Well, we're here for you, man. I know it's not easy, but don't forget to shake, Mickey. I know it's something it's such an easy thing to forget to do. Just give yourself, put some music on and shake for 10 minutes every day. It gets rid of a lot of unwanted emotional baggage. You shake it out of your arms and your hands and your wrists, and release it through your neck and your head, and let it all go from your shoulders. This is where we also hold a lot of energy here in our jaw. So it's good to open your mouth when you shake, and and just loosen up, man. It's really good.
I love that. Just to put on and do some kundalini and shake a little bit. It's so it's really a journey. And as you know, and thank you for your blessings around me when I had my COVID. You know, like I've been having the COVID twice.
Yeah.
So I have I have a love affair, a relationship. I mean, I'm laughing about it. I'm honor everyone that been sick or have anyone that been, you know, I had two friends passing in it, and I it's not to, but also I can only, you know, at the end I can only laugh about it for myself, because it's like I've been basically in bed, you know, for half a year of 1 year in the bed, and it's been like a purification, you know, in me. It's something, it's like been moving in the deepest, because there was the only way I could go. I couldn't go anywhere else. So it's like, I love to speak with you about that, because the meditation, I mean, it's like, I'm so grateful to knowing what to do, you know, that I learned that. And I know that the meditation is like a key. I mean, everything you do is meditation.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good word, isn't it? It really stops us in our tracks. You can't really evaluate it, because everybody's has a different experience of what their meditation is. You try to. That's what religions are built around, things like that. You know, like Buddhism or something. You know, that like the deep meditation, or things like Vipassana and Zazen. And it's all basically, I don't know. I mean, I guess what I mean is it's everybody's individual key. Once we open the door, and we all know what that feeling is, we all have experienced meditation, that spaceless, absolute disconnection with the physical, but being aware that it's still awake and vibrant, and you're aware of nothing. Everything is just space. And how do you get there? And also, how long does it take to get there? Sometimes we meditate for 20 minutes, and that's just when it's going to start getting good, you know. And so it's again, you know, it's that thing of commitment. And do you really want to sit down for an hour or more and not do anything? Do you really want to do that? You know, and you'll be asked that question by your mind 1,000 times if you sit there, until it eventually starts to forget to ask the question, and it starts to slow down. But it takes a while to get there. So when you just meditate for 15 minutes, it's okay. It does slow down, slows your system down. But to move into deep meditation, like, you know, we have to have the strength to untangle ourselves and just do it. And I know for myself, I don't, you know, I don't. I do sometimes, but I don't, you know, the practice that I have is picking up the guitar. You know, that happens every day. And it happens when I pick up the guitar, time is not relevant. I just either play my songs or just do whatever I want. Or is there a new song that wants to come or anything? And all that perspective, I forget where I am. It's not irrelevant to me where I am. And so that's as close as I can get to saying that, you know, I commit to that depth of participation in my own life. If I don't, then I'm not giving myself everything. And you don't. Do you really want to treat yourself, or do you want to shortchange yourself, or do you want to just say, I love this thing so much, I'm going to do everything I can? You know, it's a bit like that, the relationship with the body and the mind. And so I just think since Osho, I've just been able to, without really taking any credit for it, I've been able to experience the life where I feel as if I'm in the right place all the time. And so a place of nourishment for myself, you know, and that's mostly been on the road for 30 years, and it's a feeling of such freedom somehow, not knowing, you know, where are we tomorrow night? Oh, we're in Belgium. Oh, okay, where are we? Oh, at Antwerp, yeah, in the concert there. Oh, and you know, and that's but that's it, you know, and that's why. So what I do with whatever money comes our way is to put around me and Deva a good team, so that I don't have to think, oh, how do we get to Antwerp? What's this? What's it? How, you know, all that goes. I don't have to think about that. The money that comes are wages for great people like the great band. The great sound tech, the great tour manager, you know, the great manager, all these things, and it just allows the expansion. And one thing I've learned also is sometimes when we've had a situation financially, you know, where Hannah would say to me, "Well, it's going to cost this much if you do this, but only this much if you go this way." And it or something like that. So I say to her, if you didn't have financial situation, if you had the situation removed of finances, if that wasn't important, which one would you take? And she would go, oh, well, this one. It's okay, take it. So that's how we do it. So we just keep everything moving and fluid, and as much as we can, and you know, and do what we can with this money that's coming and going. It's just like an energy that's flying through our lives, you know, and all we can do with it is to share it um, and and put everything that's necessary financially back into what we do, so that Osho is honored, so that this is the best I can give Osho. This is the best I've got. And it's got, so that it means, you know, when our concerts, we have really nice, beautiful lighting. It costs a bomb, man, every night, all this stuff but it doesn't matter. That makes that the people who sit there can go into this world, you know, and forget their mind for a couple of hours and just participate. And so I
love that, Miten. You know, I hear that, you know, like, because being on the other side, organizing it, you know, knowing that we are doing everything so people can go into this, you know, they can go into that state, and that we are walking into that. And that's what I feel with the meditation. The meditation is more and more every moment, everything we do, you know. And I see how you do it in beauty, and that's very inspiring, you know, that everything is, you know, you just want to give the best to the best, and people, I mean, I feel that everywhere, you know, every time in Stockholm, for example, or any other place, that it changes people's life, because you get an experience of who you are.
You remember.
You remember in the deepest, and I mean, that is so precious. I mean, it can be overseen, but how many times in life and in places do you get a remembering, you know, like, you know, it's not so many times.
No, it's the most blessed thing, isn't it? Really, to be in commune. Osho always talked about community. You know, be in community, and I feel I never left that community. You know, it's just the same. Only it's more people, and not everybody identifies with the same spiritual inspiration. But it doesn't mean we're not family.
It doesn't matter. No. It's really like the Buddha and the Dharma and the Sangha. It's It's I mean, I really feel that, and I love that we are so connected in the heart, and even the people who don't even know that, it doesn't matter. I mean, they welcome also, and they come when they come. It's not my business.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. It's great. People like you, people who have stepped out and gone through. It was such an intense time to actually bring those people into that concert hall and bring those guys and make sure they arrive at this time and the whole thing is in place. It's huge. It's huge. And, I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that we can come and be welcomed. And it's a big, huge part of the nourishment, that you really do feel when we're met at the airport. Oh, that's my brother, oh, we're here, and oh, that's my sister and she's happy. And, yeah. But, we all, even community, it still has to lead us back in the end to our own individual commitment and our own individual search.
I feel like, it's like a hero's journey a little bit. I've been thinking about that lately so much that, really, that we are on a hero's journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all have to go through this intense time and fight the dragon and, and lose the maiden and forget.
And I know just for you what you went through with the heart.
Oh yeah,
just a couple of 2-3 years ago now, and we didn't know if you were gonna come through. I mean, we had no idea. We just sent prayers, but you never know. It was quite a journey you were on. How are you now? How are you feeling now?
Yeah, I mean, I never after I got back on my feet and had the once now and again I would go to the doctor where if I and ask them to check and things like this. They always told me I'm doing good, and I almost pretty much not long after I stopped taking the medication that they told me I should take, and I just felt like there's something called statins or something. I don't know exactly, and a lot of people take them apparently, and apparently they're really good. But I didn't. I just felt like I'm just gonna. There must be a way for my body to take care of it, and there's that joke, Mickey, that Osho used to tell about the old man who just about to marry the young blonde girl, and his two sons come to him on his wedding night, and they say, "Hey, pops, we're worried this could be fatal, And the old man said, "Well, if she dies, she dies." And I feel a bit like that old man sometimes, I just feel like if I die, I die, And I'm being prepared, like beloved Nathan, I'm being prepared so often now that I I'm okay not to, you know. Now, what I do with my time here, Mickey, is I walk a lot. I have a good routine. Me and David take every morning. We awake around about 5:36 every morning. We just wake up with the sun, and we take a walk. And we walk through the jungle. There's a couple of trails, really nice, and then eventually we take the long walk round and we get to the beach, and then we walk all the way along the beach to our little place that we like to swim, and then we we swim. We don't really swim. We just jump around in the waves and get cleansed and get clean, get the spirit clean. And I just feel like whatever mood I'm in, when I get down there and start jumping around and letting the ocean take me, I feel when I get out of there, I'm good. So I'm doing good, man. There's something that's that I don't really know what it is, but there's something that keeps me from being absolutely, totally blissed out. I don't know what it is, because I've honestly, I've got everything I want. Honestly, on a physical level, got everything I want. So it's got to be something internal. It's something I'm still not confronting, or in some ways, there's some kind of challenge that I'm being offered that I'm not taking, and I haven't got the intelligence to exactly see what it is. So I just don't give it much space. I just do what I do, get my guitar, walk, hang out with Deva, do some cooking. Now I cook a little, not much, but I'm getting better at it, and she's getting great at it. And just, I like to do things like washing up, and I like to there's not much gardening, there's nothing in the earth that I can do here, and I miss that. So I get my feet down on the sand as soon as I can, and get my feet on the earth as often as I can. And then I leave the rest up to the Great Spirit, I think that's the way to do it. I know.
I'm just thinking when you said that, like maybe it's not until we are going to move into the next whatever that happens, what you were talking about. Maybe this, I don't know, like for me it's like I
think
don't know.
Well, you want it to happen before you die, because then then you're really home. You're ready. So that's what the masters say. It's like it's your second birth. The death and the rebirth. So we look to and that's, in a way, that's how I felt my connection with this music and the mantras, and especially the mantras, but the music too. For me and Deva, it's become life and death. It's become everything. There's not anything else. And so I'm just trusting that that whatever this small cloud is not worth giving attention to. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should be saying, no, I should really spend some time in a investigation of what this is. Because I know that it's that thing, whatever it is, it's a drug. It's something that you want that you don't need. And so either you don't give attention to it and you just let it be there, or you say, no, I'm going to AA, I'm going to rehab. I'm going to find out what this thing is, And so I don't know where I am with that right now. Right now, I did so much work on myself when I first got to Osho. I really went down into the pits of everything for a good few years, and Osho was just right there, right there. There was no question of not trusting. So I just free fall into Osho's world, free fall into his arms, really, and then you find out he's not there anyway, and you're just flying through the air, and then and that's where I am. I'm just flying through the air, and I don't really have any time, and I think maybe that's a cop out. I don't know, but I don't really have any real feeling to do any more real soul searching. I feel like I mean, but Dave was saying maybe you should, maybe you should have a session with so and so and talk about that. Yeah, maybe, but I never do.
Yeah.
And so I'm enjoying this right now.
It's a little bit like, like on this hero's journey, follow your bliss. And what I see, I mean, so much your purpose and your bliss is to play in front of people and to be with the people. And I mean, I feel we all missing that, we all, I'm missing just, it's beautiful to meet here online. It's great, but it's nothing like being in the room together,
Yeah.
I mean, nothing goes up to that, and I just, it comes to me like that. That is like the bliss of following the bliss. It's like that, being together with others in that space.
What is it that you would say that you miss right now, not being with me, like here together? What are the things that we miss?
I mean,
touch.
I miss like the physical thing, like. I mean, I definitely can feel the connection on many, many levels, but the physical one of hugging, of, of like kissing, of like just that one, I mean, that's life for me in some way. I mean, it has a different frequency. I mean, it's something else. And so, but this is what is, but I definitely miss that. And I hope that we can come back to that. And I see that in the future, that this will happen, that, this is also a death to something. It's a possibility here. I don't know how you feel with it, but it's something else it's also appreciating gratitude of many things that I took for granted. That I realize now that shit, I didn't value that. I didn't see that, the small things. And now, when you don't have them, then it's like when you're in a relationship and you break up or someone leaves you, suddenly you realize what's gone, like that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense for you, what I say?
I do. It does, man. And I know, that the thing in a relationship breakup is that we get the chance to be brave and see our part in the breakup, so that when it starts again, we don't make that mistake again when we're with someone else, to really evaluate I get that, where I see really you don't want to do the same thing again. You want to be able to say, okay, I made that mistake, I'm not going to do that again. But I don't know. My breakup, the most important breakup for me was in sannyas. And there was one night when I wanted to be with we'd been together 7 years. We were good friends, and it was our time. We were in the ashram, and we had a sort of date after Osho. We'd already split up, but we had a date after Osho spoke, after discourse, to meet and go out. And she decided when we met that she didn't want to, and I was kind of trying to persuade her, to come. And she just said to me at one point, she said, "Miten," she said, "don't be a beggar." And it was great. It was such a beautiful moment of truth that she saw, and she gave it to me in such cleanliness. And I saw in my beggar, and no wonder she didn't want to come and hang out with me, And so moments like that. And there's another moment, actually, exactly at that time, when my friend Ravi, who musician Ravi, and he doesn't even remember saying it to me, but we were hanging out, and I was in the throes of breaking up and sad and everything, and she'd left me and she was with someone else, and And then one day he just said to me, we were packing up the guitars or something, and he said, it's only a relationship. And it was like so in the perspective of being in the ashram and what we were really there for. It's only a relationship, man. And he said, I don't even remember saying that to you, but it was one of those moments when relationships. My thing with Deva is 30 years now, 31 years, and. Honestly, we're still discovering each other. We know each other so well that we really have that. I don't know whether you had that, but that experience of, just today we were walking along in silence and I was thinking of a friend, and then she mentioned the friend.
Beautiful.
And we're very close, and I think we're probably really codependent to the max, but we just love each other so much. I mean, Deva quite often goes by herself now. I don't always go out with friends or social. I don't so much like to go out, and so she does, she goes sometimes to the beach alone and has a swim alone and things like this. And I think it's her also just feeling herself alone because, it's going to come, and she knows it and I know it, unless something else happens, an accident or something. But basically she knows at some point she's going to be without me, and it's not going to be easy for her either, but in another way, she's really amazing, and I think she's got so much still to give and to share when I'm gone. I think it's going to be another whole other level of Deva that she will want to show to the world, that she shows to me. I don't know.
That is definite. I can very well see that, but you're going to be around for a long, long time more. But, I feel that the tantric thing that happens between you and Deva on stage, and that you bring the feminine and the masculine, I mean, that's what I find is really the healing that happens for all of us, like that you really make room for that energy to. And I mean, that is such a powerful, that's pure Tantra for me. It's like really the purity of healing.
Yeah. And it's our tantric practice, It's really our tantra. It takes sex out of the bedroom. You can leave that there, and you can be in a union in a totally different way than being actually physically connected. And so that is a huge nourishment. Yeah, it's really a blessing. The music and the singing, when we sing together, it's amazing when we sing together. I mean, I can remember in the ashram, whenever I was asked or invited to play in Buddha Hall or to play, I always noticed that whatever psychological state I was in at the time, as soon as I plugged in the guitar and we started to move into the whole thing, I was healed. I was immediately healed. And I think that's what I've experienced with Deva. No matter, we have our ups and downs, but mainly whatever happens, our ups and downs are they're not much. We're easy with each other, but whenever we sing, after a while, it all begins to soften out, and the blend of our two voices comes. Sometimes when we do sound check, we're not in tune and we're singing, but the connection is not there. Maybe I can tell when Deva, for instance, is singing from her mind, and when she's singing in awareness. That's so. So, for instance, she often now with the Gayatri app that we have, and when we do live broadcasts and live moments with friends, sometimes it's a stress to get it all together and helpers around, and it's not working here, and so the Deva is very much involved in all that. I just sit there fiddling around, and then she sits down and says, "Okay, let's go." And when we first play, you can feel, oh, wait a minute, we just have to look at each other, and she gets it, and we see each other, and then we immediately marry our voices together. It happens like magic, and that moment is tantric. It's just absolutely tantric. Yeah.
That's like tuning the universe.
Yeah.
It's like
or the universe tuning us.
Yeah, that's beautiful, brother. I love that. It's just I've been thinking about what does the feminine know that we don't know, What is it? What secrets are they holding that we don't understand? But I don't know, but it feels like the feminine is holding some keys.
Well, we're blessed and cursed to have a penis between our legs, Mickey, and that's a blessing and a curse for sure, and so to be able to transcend that pull, and that's the first chakra right there. That was Osho's whole work. How do I get them to move that energy up? Because so much energy, and it's just going to be and sit there until you die if you don't do something with it. And so his whole thing was to help us to get to a point beyond the penis. I think I'm gonna write a song called "Beyond the Penis."
That's because many brothers to hear.
Yeah, because I mean, in a way, that's where we want to be, so that because that's where the women are. They're beyond the penis. They have a different reality, totally different reality, and so if we can find a way to it's almost like it's meditation again, isn't it? It all comes back to that thing of just not being imprisoned in the bodily kind of business, but to be away from that, to be a part of that, and to be beyond it, so that it doesn't have a hold on us. And I think that's where women are. And one of the it's a funny thing, with the Me Too and everything, isn't it? The way the attitudes are changing, where I feel as a man that I'm having to really reevaluate my stance. Who am I actually? Because I've always had I'm going back to the teenage years when I was taught that it's about conquering women. It's about conquering them, it's about seducing them. It's about overpowering or whatever, showing them you're strong, and if you don't have the opportunity to experience another kind of reality, you're kind of basically stuck with that thing that you're given. And it's also inbuilt in us. Men have got the penis. They have to conquer. They have to go out and fight. They have to go out and hunt. They have to follow this thing. It's energy. It's basic energy, that Shakti energy. And again, if you come back to the mantras and the communion, there's moments when we can feel we're above that, And it doesn't mean to say we're not romantic and we're not loving towards each other, but there's another way of expressing it. And we've learned that over the years, you know. I hope the younger kids are learning it earlier. I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I think we do evolve. And I think all the things that we went through in my generation, well, I see in the younger generation that there is an understanding of what we were talking about and what we were discovering by going to India and learning meditation and looking deeper into ourselves and everything that was born out of that time, vegetarianism, you know, meditation, self-awareness, food, you know, everything came in a way from the 60s and 70s and flowered. But now we're all, my generation's passing the baton, you know, we're passing it on. And it's quite a world where all our young people can't meet and mingle and mix with each other right now and learn from each other. It's a different way of life, and it means we're making different human beings with different values and different understandings, which we won't understand because they have lived a different life through the internet and through that whole way of communicating. So it's a new species that is being born out of this lockdown, and and out of Me Too and out of everything. You know, it's much more. You do this, that's the barrier there, and you understand that, and it's actually maybe it's good because it helps us to drop some of the human stuff that we carry. We're becoming more robotic, more perfect, more this is, and in a way we're becoming that. I'm not saying whether it's good or bad, I don't know, but I feel like that it's the same when when we used to make music, we didn't have things like click tracks in the studio. We didn't have computers to say, you got to go, now when you record in the studio, you can have that kind of thing so that it keeps you from slowing down. It keeps you from getting overexcited. It keeps you from being anything other than mechanical. And we know that now. We're used to it as listeners. All this, if things are not like that, they sound a little untidy. They don't feel good because we've felt this perfection. And there's a few people, older people, of course, like Bob Dylan and Neil Young, who purposely go against that and create exactly the opposite and insist that the moment is more important than anything else. And so we are moving into that. It seems as if we're being manipulated, or at least herded into a different kind of reality that is kind of shut down in a way. It's much more borders. This is what you do, this is what you do, this is that. And because there's so many human beings on the planet, Mickey, that it has to be like that. Once there wasn't many people, and then you could just do whatever you wanted. Even go back to the 40s or 50s, you could still disappear from the world. Now is impossible. There's nowhere to hide. There's only escape is to go inside yourself and discover the friend, as the Sufis call it. So you can make friends with yourself, and the friend visits you, and it's the guest, and you prepare for the guest, and you take care of it.
Was a Rinpoche who said, like, the internet is like the Ganga, it's like the holy river.
It's
like you can throw anything into it, but you can also create beautiful things out of it. It's all consciousness. I mean, consciousness is all there is. So it's like, I remember that, being with Byron Katie for so many years. And I remember I was out with Katie in Barstow, and she sent me out early in the morning in the desert, and then she came, and I was supposed to build a labyrinth. She was going to come in the night with a group of people, and I was taking away, it was Coca-Cola bottles, and then she came up to me and she took up if you can't see that this is also God, you haven't done your work, you know. it's like so she sent me back to do my work again, you know. But everything is here, and what to do.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So, brother, thank you so much. I mean, I love you, and I appreciate so much what you and Deva brings to all of us, and I just want you to stay healthy and happy. And is it any chance like we could just finish with a little meditation or something? You just guide us for a few minutes with a little bit, so we step into that place that is the first love of us, why we are here. Would that be okay with you? Or
Sure. Well, you know, the easiest way is for us to close our eyes. So let's you and me at least close our eyes, Mickey, and let's invite our beloved brothers and sisters to join us with a moment of silence and inner connection, sense of coming back to ourselves. The energy of the eyes is to go beyond, to go out. And the energy of the ears is to hear, is to accept and allow. So take a moment just to bring your awareness to the sounds around. Take a deep breath. A deep breath and a sense of gratitude through the breathings. Take a deep breath and a sense of gratitude. Mm. Take another deep breath, the sense of forgiveness, forgiving others who might have hurt us in some way or another, and forgiveness to ourselves for the mistakes we think we made, and actually we are absolutely innocent. And breathe the sense of being innocent and forgive yourself. Take a deep breath. And you can spend some time after this program that we've been sharing together to just focus a little deeper on forgiveness and how to come to a space of gratitude for everything, and a sense of compassion towards ourselves and others. Together we can chant our mantra for universal peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You join me, and as we sing, our room becomes a temple. A deep breath. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti. Thank you, beloved friends.
Thank you,
Thank you, Mickey.
Thank you, brother. And so looking forward soon to see you in Stockholm again and everywhere. Let's just see that we give that to that we all gonna come through this, and we're gonna be stronger, and we're gonna be more united and together after this.
All
We're gonna
right,
be more like a family, even more, every brother and sister and every be. So, and if people want to find you, I will write the app so they know how to join and come and be with you guys.
Yeah.
And I will add, all the ways they can connect with you and find you and everything like that.
Thanks, man. That would be great. That would be great. As the more people that to get to feel the importance actually of chanting, the better the world is going to be. So I'm really into helping. And as I didn't mention really much about the Gayatri app, but I just want to say something about it actually, because it's really born out of lockdown. This was not something we had in mind, but we created somewhere where people can congregate and share. And it's true. It's not as the only physical thing is that quite often people go, "Oh, I've just met somebody who's in the same town as me. We're going for a coffee or something, Or so there is a way to deal with sense of isolation that we might be feeling, and this is a way where we can meet people on a deeper level with more celebrative outlook on life, and at the same time understanding that we're involved in a situation that's life and death, and depends how we deal with that. And the Gayatri Sangha app is full of people who are dealing with the positive outlook of life right now. And I think that's a nourishing place to be. So we actually made it free if people can't afford it. And if they can afford it, it's $2 US a week. And
it's
that's
so
for
cheap, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we keep the prices right down as low as we can. That just covers all the running costs from the people, the company that puts those things together. So we're not making any money on it, but it's important that we keep it going, and we do what we can for ourselves too. It's important for me and Deva to meet every Saturday live and sing and play together and meditate together, and then read the comments so that we are feeling the connection. It's not that, I never bother to read the comments. The comments afterwards are the connection also. So I love to connect with people like that. All right, man. Thank you so much, Mickey.
Thank you, brother.